Thank you very much, and welcome once again to Where Are They Now? And as we've been promising, previewing for the last 2 hours, joining us now, former Cowboy standout and now a member of the Seattle Mariners, Donnie Walton. And Donnie's a guy who really doesn't need a whole lot of introduction, especially to our listeners for sure. But it's good to touch base with you, man. And I thought, hey, a perfect baseball day, about 19 degrees, some snow on the ground. I thought, hey, let's talk some baseball. I bet you can't wait to get to Arizona, huh?
Yeah. Thanks for having me. And it's looking outside. You wish you were in Arizona right now. I was trying to pull out of my apartment the other day, and I was going backwards. So I had to have somebody else come pick me up to take me to the field. So, yeah, I'm excited to go to Arizona and get out of this cold weather for sure.
Now, you were mentioning before we went on the air that you might depart a little earlier, but officially, I guess everybody has to report on the 19th. Is that right, Major League Baseball-wise, to spring training?
So pitchers and catchers are going to be reporting, I guess, earlier next week.
Okay.
And then position players reporting the 19th, and that report is for all of us to get the COVID test, and so we'll get the COVID test the 19th, and then the first practice will be the 22nd.
You know, it's one of these things, I'm sure, as we've discussed before, whatever it takes to play. I mean, a guy like you, you're not going to complain about anything. If you can get out there and play, that's the whole idea. But you got a taste of what it was like last year with the abbreviated schedule, having masks, the alternate training site or the alternate site itself. What was that all like?
It was definitely a roller coaster ride for sure. Just a lot of different rules, not necessarily a game. It's just, you're going to the field and you're going back to the hotel, and that's basically how life was for 3 months. And couldn't go anywhere else. You were getting tested every other day. Have to wear the mask in the dugout, and kind of being separated in the locker room. So it was definitely not normal, and it was tough on a lot of us. But I think once the game started going, it brought everybody together a little bit. Just realizing that baseball is back and we're able to play this game, even though pandemic was going on. And but yes, it was definitely a little bit of a roller coaster ride for sure, and hopefully this year it can calm down a little bit.
And of course, the condensed 60-game schedule into a short period of time threw a whole different look on it as well. But they added the alternate sites where some guys, and you spent some time at an alternate site. I think I talked with Mercer last year. I think Detroit sent him there, I think. And maybe it was the Yankees, I guess. Either one. Anyway, he was at an alternate training site. And really there wasn't a whole lot. You weren't playing anybody, were you? I mean, you just scrimmaging? What were you doing to stay sharp?
Yeah, just scrimmaging a couple times a week and then practicing the other days. And, it basically felt like fall practices here at OSU.
Huh.
I kind of wish we got to scrimmage a little bit more to get some more at-bats, but with the limited pitching, we can only scrimmage a couple times a week. But, yeah, it was nuts. It was the same thing down there. We were going to the field and coming back to the hotel. We were actually able to go eat at some restaurants and play a little golf, but other than that, that's all we were doing during the season.
Was it difficult to stay mentally into this thing for a long period of time, knowing that, tomorrow I could get the call and I could come up, right? But
Absolutely.
Then I might be up for 2 days and come right back down again. Was it difficult to stay in this thing mentally?
Absolutely. I think more than any other year, I think that this past year was it tested me mentally. I think it was the most mentally kind of like exhausting year I've had, just because of like what you said is, are they going to call me up? Am I going to play a game this year? How should I, stay ready when I'm on the taxi squad, and, different ways to prepare, like feeling if you're ready or you're not ready kind of deal. So, yes, it definitely was mentally draining. I think the biggest thing that helped me and has helped me in the past with injuries, with not playing, is just kind of visualizing, success and visualizing just at-bats you've had in the past, or visualize yourself on the field, just because you haven't had those regular reps that you usually do and have played about 50 to 70 games. So, mentally it was a little bit of a drain.
I got into this with Lyons because he was with the Yankees, and he was at the alternate training side as well, alternate side, I should say. And he basically said, what can we do? And we played a lot of golf, which he said he did. But you can't get into it every game, every other day, as far as a pitcher, maybe every 3-day situation. And what he didn't like, and I'm sure what a lot of you guys did not like, was there was no real competition. I mean, you weren't playing teams from the guys who were in that alternate site from another organization. I mean, you didn't have a regular routine. And I think baseball players, being routine people, that had to be just stir crazy.
Oh, absolutely. I think that was the biggest thing guys were talking about, was just they didn't feel right at the plate or feel right during a scrimmage because the lack of repetition. And like you said, it's just like, usually you're playing day to day, and and so once you play that scrimmage, and then you're not playing for a couple of days, and all you're doing is practicing, the routine definitely gets messed up a little bit, and I think guys had to adjust that for the most part. And that was I think the biggest thing guys were struggling for sure.
Hopefully this does not include you, but as far as you understand, maybe will there be minor league teams around the country? I mean, will we go AAA, AA, single A? What kind of rumblings have you heard, at least prior to everybody pulling the trigger and say, this is what we're going to do? I mean, obviously you're not in on all the conversations, but still, what have you heard?
Yeah, I think that they're going to do their best to get the minor league seasons going, because I think it'll be tough going 2 years without it. So I think they have to. I know AAA is definitely playing, and I think I know AA is definitely playing, and with High A, I think they will be able to go their sites as well. I think levels below that, they'll all just be in Arizona, but and kind of playing against teams in Arizona or Florida, whatever their spring training site is. Mm-hmm. But I think High A, AA, and AAA, they are going to try to play their season, which is good. But that's all I know of as of now. I'm not 100% sure on the High A, but I'm pretty sure AA and AAA are going to be playing. And
you are a product, per se, of the minor leagues. You didn't spend a whole lot of time there, but from Everett to Modesto to Arkansas, all the way to the bigs, you understood the value, obviously, of playing every day at another level, right, and competing and getting ready when your number's called. So you can understand where this would be frustrating, I think, to a lot of guys trying to make that climb, huh?
Oh, absolutely. I feel for those guys every day. I couldn't imagine mentally how they're going through it, because everything's up in the air. I feel terrible for all of them, honestly, especially the guys that just getting drafted, the guys that got drafted the year before, and they were going into their first full season. I couldn't imagine. how they're going through it and dealing with it. And because, now they haven't played in a year. And, that could be difficult on some guys. I know it'd be difficult on me. And, and even with the college kids now, having to go through it, it's terrible. And hopefully everything can get back to normal pretty soon, because I definitely feel for those kids.
Tell me about Seattle, at least outside looking in. Obviously, you're on the 40-man, and did they make a lot of moves? Is the traffic in front of you any more or less than it was before? And how do you feel going into it?
Oh, I feel pretty good. I think we talked after the season was over, and it was a lot of good things. I don't think there's too many openings or too much blockage going on to where it affects my future or where my position is at. As of now, I probably will start like how they imagined me starting last year, and that's AAA, and wanting me to play every day. So if I do get called up, I'm ready to go, and not kind of just sitting on the bench and just kind of playing every fourth or fifth day. So that's kind of where my mind's at right now, and I think that's what they're wanting me to do, unless they say different in spring training. So kind of just going from there.
Is it contingent on spring training, or do we make too much about it? I mean, are people pretty much logged in by management and the managers and the pitching coaches and blah 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 before this ever takes place, or can you actually jump some people in spring training?
I think they have a pretty good idea of how they want their team to look going in. I definitely feel like if you perform well in spring training, that definitely opens eyes and can make or can have some talk with the organization and can help you there, and maybe get called up sooner, or maybe start with the team. But spring training is definitely important because they kind of get an idea of what you've done all off season, what changes you've made, and if you made the changes that they have wanted you to do in the past, then that will just kind of help you out in the long run.
Along that line, what did you do during the off season here? And you spent, if not most of it, all of it here. And you got a chance to do that old Brate Stadium workout stuff, too, which is awesome. I mean, you guys have your own room, and you have your own time. You can work the major leaguers, and which I think is tremendous. But what were the things that you honed in on during the off season that you feel good about taking to spring training?
Pretty much my body. I think, I started it last year and working on my diet and really focus on the weight room, getting stronger, getting leaner, and then becoming more athletic. I feel like I've done that, especially even last year, and getting my body in shape to where I can perform better on the field. Defensively, I try to do the same work I've been doing my whole life, and getting my arm healthy. And then I think this past year, I definitely felt myself getting stronger and healthier. And I think when you go into hitting, you feel that strength, and you feel that strength working, and you want to gain more and more and more. But you can get yourself in a bad spot because you're overloading, overswinging, and not swinging at good pitches. So basically kind of take the lessons I learned this past year, and knowing that I'm strong, and and focusing on, keeping everything short and keep my approach the same that I've had most of my life, and try not to do anything different. Even though I'm strong, just just know that I'm the same player. Just my body's changing in a better way.
We had you on right after, I think that first game, after you got your first hit, and you called up and all those things. And you've had big league, experience. So do you approach this year with, and what's the word I'm seeking, a little bit more confidence that you belong, you've shown that you have, instead of just, I've yet to taste it yet, and now I've got to kind of press a bit. I mean, how do you approach it mentally?
Yeah, I would say that. I think that, I've played in it now in a few games to where I've seen some of the best play and played alongside them, and definitely feel that my game belongs in the big leagues, and definitely don't think I have to prove anybody that I belong there. Just, I think, going in confidently that I can play in the big leagues for a long time, and now it's honestly keeping my my game consistent and not trying to do anything different. Just be the same guy each day, because I think that the experience that you you talked about, playing in those games and knowing I belong there, it definitely helps.
You can still talk to yourself at the plate? Are you going to do that, after you swing?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what? We made fun of that when we had you on right after you made your debut. I don't remember you doing that here, but I mean, obviously, I guess you did, but I don't remember.
Well, my mom, I think, pointed it out when I was like a sophomore in a Big 12 tournament, and I think she received some texts like Donnie's talking to himself at the plate, and people have asked me what I'm talking about.
What are you talking about when you talk?
And the thing is I have my approach that I'm honestly I think I'm saying it in my mind, but I'm like, I might be talking it out loud at at some point, but I feel it's just me repeating what I want to do with each pitch, and even when I'm on deck, it's like when I'm trying to get my load down, I'll just say now, I'll tell myself now, and that's when I start my load, and then when I'm in the box, it's just all right, think left center, see a pitch up, and I'm just saying all that stuff, as I'm staring the pitcher in the eye.
In the time we have left, kind of give us a quick snapshot. What's Seattle done to maybe enhance their chances this next year? Do you feel a young movement kind of improving as we go along? You're part of it. What do we got in store for us this year from the Mariners?
Yeah, there's a lot of young talent, very, very good young talent coming up, and I think, I know I can say it, and most of us can say it, at the alternate site, they had a bunch of them there, and you saw a lot of good young arms, healthy arms, and then you saw a lot of good athletes running around. And we got two outfielders that are very, very good, very talented, and love the game. They're, one's 19, one's 21. Then you got a couple of my close friends who a couple of them I got called up with, and then you got Evan White, you got Kyle Lewis. Kyle Lewis was the Rookie of the Year this past year, and then Evan White was a Gold Glover at first, and then you got Dunn, pitcher, who I got called up with, who was very good. And then we got, some solid veteran guys, closer Kendall Graveman, and then Kyle Seeger,
Mm-hmm.
and then we got Mitch Haniger back. So there's a lot of good talent around, and then you got J.P. Crawford, who was a Gold Glove at short. So a lot of good guys as well. All those guys are great guys, great teammates. So and they love to play the game, and they play the game right. So it's fun playing with them. I feel like we have a solid chance to surprise some people, and it should be fun with this squad. And I think we'll, like I said, surprise some people this year.
Coaching staff still intact?
Yes.
Yeah, nobody from the top on down, nobody's changed or anything, right?
No.
All right, real quick, best of luck. We appreciate you being with us, and I know you can't wait. You can text me when you get out there and tell me it's 85 degrees as soon as you get there, and I'll be jealous.
Yeah, it's probably going to be 75, 80 out there.
Oh man!
Try to get around to golfing.
See, you've gone a whole half hour being a nice guy, and you have to just end it that way.
Yeah.
Man, I think it'll be a while before my clubs come out of the trunk of the car around here.
Yeah, I know. It's tough times looking at this weather, trying and wanting to get out on the course for sure.
Well, go ahead and just rub it in that same day, and don't waste 2 texts. Just text me from the course and tell me how hot it is and what you're doing, and that'll be good.
Good stuff.
Hey, best of luck to you out there. We'll keep up with you as we go through the year. Got my MLB all tuned in, so I'll be following what's going on there as well. But I appreciate your time, and go out there and take them over there in spring training. Let's get it going here real quick.
Awesome. Thank you for having me again.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care.
That is Donnie Walton.